Hi friends, welcome back to SLR Studies. I am Lilladar and today we are going to discuss the last topic in the first chapter, that is India relief features. The last topic is islands. There are two island systems in our India. One is Andaman and Nicobar Islands stretching in the Bay of Bengal, and the Lakshadweep Islands are stretching in the Arabian Sea. And the Andaman and Nicobar Islands are mostly of the volcanic origins. They are the submerged regions of the mountains, Myanmar mountains, Arkanyoma, and also the Arkanyoma mountain systems are submerged in the water level, and the tops are made as the tops are spread straightenly and they formed into the islands. These are the Andaman and Nicobar Islands. The Andaman and Nicobar Islands. In the Andaman and Nicobar Islands, Narcondam and Barren Islands are two islands. Also, the set of Andaman and Nicobar Islands. These two, the Narcondam and Barren Islands are of volcanic origin mainly, and also the the southmost point of our country, India, is located in Nicobar Islands. That is Indira Point. It is named after the the girl president of our country, Mrs. Indira Gandhi, and it was submerged in the 2004 tsunami. And like this, now we are going to the Lakshadweep Islands. And we are going to the Lakshadweep Islands. The Lakshadweep Islands are originated in the coral. Their origin is a coral origin. They are stretched in the Bay of Bengal Sea. They are stretched in the Arabian Sea. In the west side of our country, the Lakshadweep Islands. The most beautiful flora and fauna are present here. The flora and fauna here present are very diverse from the all other living organisms. And like this, in Lakshadweep Islands, the Lakshadweep Islands touch around the 32 square kilometers of total geographical area. All the islands are mixed together of 32 square kilometers. And like this, we are completing the islands. And the last but not least, all the India is a country which contains various relief features and like Himalayas and islands, deserts, the peninsular plateau, coastal islands, coastal plains, Indo-Gangetic plains, etc. Like this, the people of India are living in different diversified places. They are very diversified in the nature, in religion, and also very diversified regions. Like this, our India contains all the 6 relief features, starting from the first one, Himalayas and Peninsular Plateau, Indo-Gangetic plains, and coastal plains, deserts, and islands. Now we are doing summary about all 6 relief features again. First one, Himalayas. The Himalayas contains 3 parallel ranges. One is Himadri, and second one is Himachal, and the third one is Shivaliks. The Himadri are the Greater Himalayas, are the first layer of Himalayas. These contains the topmost peaks such as Mount K2 and the Mount Everest, etc. And these are very famous for the hills, popular mountains, and the average height is about 6,100 meters. And coming to the next one is Himachal range, that is the second range in the Himalayas. It is famous for the hill stations such as Darjeeling, Nainital, Ooty, etc. And average height is about 4,000 to 3,000 meters. And third one is Shivaliks. It is the outermost range of the Himalayas. The average height is about 200 to 300 meters in range. All Himalayas are width of 500 kilometers in the western part, and the central part and eastern part contains 200 kilometers of width varies. And like this, the Himalayas are in the 3 parallel ranges. And also, I forgot to say one point in the first session of Himalayas. The Himalayas takes a hairpin bend at the valley. They have different names in the different regions like Patka Hills, Naga Hills, etc. And this is about Himalayas. And next, coming to Indo-Gangetic plains. The Indo-Gangetic plains contains smooth plains, fertile plains which are formed by the deposition of the perennial rivers. I forgot to say the perennial rivers in the Indo-Gangetic plains. Perennial rivers are the rivers which flow continuous throughout the year. They will never stop in any time. They are started from the Himalayas and flow throughout the year in the whole country. And perennial rivers, mainly the three rivers Indus, Ganga and Brahmaputra. These three rivers formed the Indo-Gangetic plains. The Indo-Gangetic plains are also called as northern plains. These are highly fertile lands for agriculture farmers. And next, coming to the Peninsular Plateau. The Peninsular Plateau contains two divisions: the Deccan Plateau and the Malwa Plateau or the Central Highlands. In the Central Highlands, the Malwa Plateau and the Chota Nagpur Plateau are very rich in minerals, and the Deccan Plateau is a triangle shape of the our country, and it also contains the Western Ghats and Eastern Ghats. These are the two outermost outermost hills of our country. The Western Ghats are continuous with few gaps to passes to the west coastal plain, but the Eastern Ghats are not continuous. They have some gaps between them. And these allows the rivers which are originated from the Western Ghats to flow through the Eastern Ghats and mix in the Bay of Bengal. Now coming to the next one, the Western Ghats also contains the Western Ghats and Eastern Ghats contains the highest peaks. The highest peak in Western Ghats is Anaimudi Hill. It is about 2,965 kilometers, and the highest peak in the Eastern Ghats is Arayakonda. It is about 1,600 meters, and the highest peak in Nilgiris. The Nilgiris is the hills where both Eastern Ghats and Western Ghats mix together at the place of Tamil Nadu. The Nilgiris highest peak is Dodabetta, about 3,000 kilometers. And next, coming to the after the Indo-Gangetic plains, Peninsular Plateau, after we are going to the coastal plains, deserts. The deserts, the only desert present in our India is Thar Desert. It is situated in the leeward side of the Aravalli hills. It occupies most of the western region in the Rajasthan, and like this, the Thar Desert is the only desert. There are no rivers in the Thar Desert except one river. It is called as the Luni River, and the rainfall is very less, about 100 to 150 meters annually. And like this, we are going to the next one. After the Thar Deserts, we are coastal plains. There are two coastal plains: West Coastal Plain and the East Coastal Plain. The West Coastal Plain are slightly narrower than the East Coastal Plain. The West Coastal Plain are not supported for the agriculture, and West Coastal Plains contains these are narrower than the East Coastal Plain, and the East Coastal Plains are the West Coastal Plain can be divided into three parts. First one, Konkan Coast, and second one is Canara. First one is Canara Coast. It is for Maharashtra and Goa. And the second one is Canara Coast. It is for Karnataka, and third one is Malabar Coast. It is for Kerala. And the East Coastal Plain also divided into three divisions. First one is Sarkar Coast for AP, and the first one is Utkal Coast for Odisha, and second one is Sarkar Coast for AP, and third one is Coromandel Coast for the Tamil Nadu. Like this, the East Coastal Plain is wider than the West Coastal Plain. It is very highly developed in the agriculture. It is very helpful for the farmers. As similarly to the Indo-Gangetic plains, the East Coastal Plain also possesses a fertile land, and fertile land for agriculture. And now coming to the last one, again the islands. Now the islands were completed, and like this is a whole total summary about the first chapter, India's hilly features. Thanks friends, thank you for watching this video. Please do subscribe to my channel. In the next sections we are going to the next chapters.